Hi, welcome to the show. All right, believe it or not, this balloon has still got helium in it. It's like it's the little balloon that could, right? Still on my chair. I haven't even taken it off. I can't believe it. That's wild. All right, I see that three of you guys are still here already, or you're here now. So welcome to the live stream. Okay, so I'm gonna play a little bit of music just to kind of give it a little bit of time. Um, Hi, CB. Hi, Paul. I misplaced my vape pen and I hate that. Okay, whatever. I'll have to find it later. Hey, Michael. All right. While we're waiting, I hope just give you a warning. I want to kind of show you how my lights work. But if you have any type of, I don't want to give anybody what do you call it? Epileptic seizure. Okay, so just as a warning, it might get kind of wild. But well, just for a minute, I'll show you. Anyway, like, okay, so I will. I'll get going here. Oh, you like it? Yeah. Thanks. I mean, the other stuff is kind of like too busy for for whatever, but it's fun to have the options. All right, so this show is going to be mainly focused on Katt Williams, and then also I want to talk a little bit about that alien thing that happened. That's something that I just find kind of interesting. So that's going to be coming on later on. But why does Katt Williams interest me so much? Okay, so first of all, I did do an article for, and I think I have it linked into this video. I wrote an article on Katt Williams last like in December basically because I live in Fresno and he was playing at the Save Mart Center, which is a big arena, like our biggest stadium like type of arena where concerts happen and everything. We had Gabriel Iglesias, was before Katt Williams, and I did a story on him, and then I did a story on Katt. And of course, Kat's somebody that I personally have been watching for a long time. And he is, because he's been like, he talks about the Illuminati and, Hollywood and, just kind of seems to be like he just says it, like he just says it and he's confident. And I believe it's the truth. I believe he's really disclosing things, and of course there's that whole puff daddy thing going on. But the article that I wrote, I never met Katt Williams. I never was on any lineup with him, but I have a friend that I called up. His name is Steven Lolli. And like when you do a story, you write a story, you have to get an attribution, or you want to get somebody else besides just reporting on that he's going to be performing here and get what other people, maybe had experience with him or whatever. And I knew that Stephen Lolli had was a writer for him in really like when his career shot up. So wrote the story in December. He did a New Year's Eve show performance here, and then all of a sudden, the Club Shay Shay interview happened, and look, he broke the internet. I was looking at one video, and I think I have it in the queue here, where I didn't finish the whole thing, but basically it broke it down to where on YouTube the host of Club Shay Shay and the channel. And this is something like if you are building your channel, right, and you do a longer stream or you do a longer interview, you cut it into little parts, right? Make smaller videos of your main video and retitle those. So after I think like the first interview, the actual interview, the 3-hour interview got 50K hits or 50 million hits, not K, 50 million hits. And then with all of the other videos that were edited, I think they've made like at least like from what I can tell, I didn't see the rest of the video, but if you do the math, it's like $500,000. $500,000 on that one interview. That's like how big it is. And I just kind of want to go over some of the things that some of the other channels have been reporting on, right? So let me pull up some stuff here. Let's see. Michael, I'm glad you made it. You got my my email, my DM on Instagram. Okay, I want to start. Where do I start actually? Okay. All right, I want to start. This is like probably not a little bit more unusual. Is Corey Halcomb is a comedian, and I know Corey actually. When I was on Last Comic Standing, and this was like okay, so I was on the first season, right, of Last Comic Standing, and then there was the second season, and Corey Holcomb was a top 10 finalist on the second season of Last Comic Standing. And then the third season, and this was 2004, right? The third season was first season against second season competing against each other. And it like in the beginning of the show of Last Comic Standing, it wasn't just like it like later on it changed. But in the beginning, it was a hybrid between Big Brother and American Idol. That's how it was described. So they do this search for comedians around the country, right? And then they narrow it down to 10 people on the West Coast, 10 people on the East Coast. Then we competed that way, right? On two different sides. And then they took the top 10 out of both those categories. It was like 25 comedians on each side. They went down to 10. They flew us all to Vegas, right? And then 20 of us competed. And then 10 of us went into the house. And then the house, it was very much a reality show at that point. Like we were all on like there was cameras everywhere. It's very interesting experience to do a reality show because you actually live on camera. Like you live and you sleep on camera. Like it's a very almost like a surreal experience. And they'll have like camera crew will come around, right, throughout the day, and then they'll be capturing things. And the only privacy that we really had where we weren't required, like if they came and they were filming something, and let's say people are having arguments or they're doing whatever how they do in reality shows, you have to just be like you don't break camera, you don't go, excuse me, what do you have your camera in here for? It's like you just kind of get used to living with people recording like what you're doing. And the only privacy that we had was when we were in the bathroom. And even if, let's say we were in the bathroom, we were having a conversation with somebody, if they knocked on the door, we were required to let them in with the camera and start filming. So yeah, it's a very interesting setup. So he was on the second season like that. Now eventually they kind of they let the house go, right? But on the third season, when we were competing, it was a fall season replacement, and we were normally a summer show. So God, who won the second season? John, what was his name? John. God, I can't remember who the winner was for the second season. John. Okay, he won, and then and then when we right away we went into the third season, and then Alonzo Bowden took the title away from the second year winner. It's very wild, but anyway, getting to the point of Corey Halcomb, both of us lost. Like one side of the team would be eliminated, right? And we were both eliminated at the same time in the third season. Okay. So that's why I kind of feel like when I see him talking about Katt Williams, I'm like, oh my God, it's Corey Holcomb talking about this. So he's had a good career. I mean, he's had a good comedy career. And I want to just share like a little bit of what he says about what's going on. And so the title of the video is Corey Holcomb and Gary Owens expose Hollywood and the zesty agenda. Now, I'm not familiar with Gary Owens. I guess I should be. I just haven't, like as the years go on, I haven't been quite paying attention to some of the newer comics that come up. But let's give this a listen here.
Video, so y'all already know what's going on. Okay, y'all, look, I didn't think I would come back with another video about the entire Katt Williams thing, but I figured we've never talked about Gary Owens on this channel, and I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen that clip where he responded to Katt Williams, basically confirming what he said about him not crossing over in the industry. We all know the term crossing over in Hollywood means selling your soul, for
Black
those that
Balloon.
don't know. My God.
Go a little farther.
It is what it is. A lot.
Now, this dude,
just like Nori.
People want you directly. The director on the do want to
give CV. Katt Williams is a really popular comedian, and he's like won an Emmy. It's Katt, Katt Williams, and yeah. So here's Corey's take on it. Okay, this guy. Here we go.
Listen to what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I can't do nothing about the lifestyle of men who choose that. But I do want to give you a little...
What's happening, just so CB, because I know that some people might not know what's going on. Katt Williams got on this show and talked about Puff Daddy, grooming young artists. Puff Daddy offered Katt he said $50,000 to have sex with him. Just kind of the way that Black comedians are being treated. They are, like they always talk about, like with Dave Chappelle, that in Hollywood, they always wanted to make a Black man wear a dress or to play a woman, or, Dave Chappelle refused it. The way that they're kind of diminished in their careers, or they're also sexually harassed by, other, popular people. Like, for example, there's a thing going on around how Puff Daddy put a hit out on Katt Williams' life for saying what he's saying, that he got kidnapped. There's also that, and then I think Puff Daddy got arrested. So yeah, it's like this is the reason why this is really trending really hard, is because Katt is standing up and outing this stuff that's going on in the entertainment business. And, you know, he describes how, now, according to the IMBD, or I always say that wrong, IMDb, the database for the actors, when you go to his page, and this is why I noticed it, because I was researching him. And on the IMDb, it says that Ludacris is either his cousin or his nephew. But on the Club Shay Shay, he says he's not related to Ludacris. But he basically, you know, calls Ludacris is basically selling his soul. And, you know, then as you know, Katt Williams says it, you know, when you make the deal with the devil, you know, or something like that, then you get the light-colored, ugly old white woman sitting next. Like, that's kind of how he talks, right? Okay, so he got Ludacris because that's what Ludacris got, or something like that, right? So all these other celebrities are coming out also and making their responses, but the fact of the matter is so far everything that Katt Williams has said is checking out in it all. So anyway, let's continue here with Corey Holcomb.
Information, all you guys who thinking of coming out of here thinking you gonna make it, your asshole must be sacrificed. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it, homie. If you ain't coming out of here to ride cowboy style at these parties, I have been on television shows and been so scared because I thought, like I've said this, when I did Black Jesus, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be my last day because I saw the scene with the dress in it.
Yeah.
I am so lucky that I had a director on the show who was like, yeah, Corey, no, you ain't gonna just put this thing. He had me put on like, it's the women of the desert. What is it called? A burqa they wear?
Yeah, like
yeah. So they told me I could just put on the suit the men wear out there. I forgot the name of that.
very similar. It's just like a straight.
I was like, okay, I'll put on the pants, nigga.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you know, it didn't turn into nothing for real. But I know what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, here it is.
Okay, I have to interrupt for a second. I had a troll in the chat that mentioned a professor that I tutor for. And there was I'm just going to say it. There's a channel called Random Troll Network. And I was making a video for, let me just explain it. I was making, let me take this off for a second because I gotta address this. I was making a video. I had done a stream, right? And then I had to make a video or like I wanted to make an introduction video because we send out emails to the students that we tutor for. And I meant to record it and I accidentally live streamed it. And then I had to do 4 takes because my cat kept making noise, right? And then at one point I go, Orlando! And then I was like, oh my God, I'm live streaming. So the person took that clip. I deleted it right away, but apparently there's so many people tracking me right now, or there's some people that are just, they have nothing better to do than try to clip some sort of footage and make something nasty out of it. And so they said, oh, I really feel bad about, like they wrote something like these poor students that have to deal with Terry, me, right? And but by the way, just that person who just said that, they go, I'm going to call Professor Prandini and say that you've been a bad girl or something like that. And I'm like, let me let you guys know that my employers know what's been happening to me. And you should know that I've actually even contacted campus police on both of the campuses that I go to and made reports. And I also have it set up that if I feel like threatened, I could actually be escorted to my classes by a police officer. That's really how serious all this is becoming. So good luck on, calling up and reporting me And here's the deal. Today, I just kind of even got even more promoted. Like I'm gonna even tutor more, and I was requested by the professors and the dean. So they're full on aware of what's happening and also the nature of the people that are involved. All right. So and what it's about. So it, believe me, I have been doing everything that I can to protect myself. And then also, like I've even shown screenshots of your posts and the threats that came at me about someone meeting me on campus. That's already been sent to my professors. Just so you know that's already been done. Like both colleges are aware of what's going on and what it's about and what all of it. Okay. So just go ahead and try to make your little phone calls or show up at my campus or try to knock on my door because it's not going to go very well for you. Okay. Right. All right. So I'm going to leave that at that. Thanks for subscribing though, because I know you have to subscribe to make your comment. Okay. So thanks for upping my ante there.
Here it is. The nigga in the dress episode. Homie, I'm at a stage in life where I'm past that wanting that money like that. I mean, that money like that is good.
And another thing, we've also had, and this is Professor Prendini, right? We've had a discussion about the Pepe the Frog thing too, as well. So just throwing that out there to you guys too, the Pepe lovers, because we agree that it's a racist hate symbol. Okay.
It makes you not be accountable for nothing in a lot of situations. That's the good thing about money, because you're going to get tired of going to the mall and all that shit. That shit play out after a while. But I'm saying, when you got a lot of money, you can basically...
And one more thing. I've also filed a police report. It goes under the category of telephone harassment. It includes the internet, and some of your stuff has also been submitted to that as well. So... like I said, when I said that I've made reports, I have. And your best bet would be to leave me alone. Okay?
Buy your way out of most situations. Unless them people want you directly, they wanted Michael Jackson. That's why they came at him and put that shit on him. Michael Jackson been Michael Jackson for years. But when he said some shit in this song, all I really know is that they don't really care about us. They was like, oh, we're going to make you pay for that, Michael. And they have been after him ever since. You know what I'm saying? Probably before that. But I'm just saying, man, all this stuff you seeing, you ain't getting nothing but bits and pieces of the truth. These parties in Hollywood come with consequence and penetration. And if you like to party and bounce, you need to come to Hollywood. Why be a backdooria in Cleveland when you can come to LA and you might get the right tickle back?
I think it is highly offensive for people who are smart enough to really know what's happening. Look, y'all talk all that shit about R. Kelly. Beyonce was on that island where they was killing kids. Beyonce was on Pedo Island. Beyonce and the camel.
Yeah. They said she was in there like,
I just want to do, I'm sorry. This is like, I might have to block this person too. Anon. Okay. YOLO is, I'm going to call the artist Nasty Troll Media out on that. Because he's pushing that. Let's call out every person that has talked about the YOLO thing. Here's Pepe the Frog, right? Here's the rose, and I'm trying to see. I think that's a ghost. So you know who they are when they put those kind of symbols. And you know, you're gone now. Okay.
Right.
I hope I can go see her again.
She was singing to little kids. If you like it, put your mouth on it. This is what I'm saying. It's like you give her a pass. You give her a pass. She can have a concert and everything after she's a known participant on Pedo Island. It's like people want to dismiss it. That's why you can't tell me nothing about what the media say about nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the media is going to make a bad guy out of whoever they want to be the bad guy. Yeah. Beyonce and Jay-Z are linked to Pedo Island. What? Huh? You ain't got nothing to say, do you? But R. Kelly, the bad guy. R. Kelly was just having sex with the shouties.
Oh my God! Wait a second.
Beyonce was killing them after they got through with him.
Now, of course, a bunch of small articles came out and fact checked whether or not The Rock, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and a couple more people that's more tied to like the industry right now, you know, that are like active A-list actors and rappers and stuff like that.
Okay, so that's just that clip. I thought that was kind of interesting. This is like from Black Balloon. See, who's this guy?
You know, a lot of y'all been saying.
Yeah. So that's Black Balloon. He's been kind of covering it here. A little more Corey Holcomb here.
We won't probably ever really know what actually went down on that island. We will only have.
Okay. And we know what he's referring to there. All right. Now this guy, there's another guy that I just really agreed with what he said, in terms of, and again, you might want to, follow his channel as well. Oh, where did I put him at? Oh, here it is. Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with Lionel Nelson. I actually subscribe to him. I should probably, after the show, I'll try to put all the links in. But if you do want to subscribe to this guy, the other one I did from the Black Balloon channel. But this one is Lionel Nation. So, and I kind of like him. I like his little glasses and his beret. So, all right. What's YOLO mean? Okay, I'm in the wrong place. I have no idea what this symbol language means. The the PEDO stuff is understandable. I stay away from bad people. You have a great night. Much love. Oh, thanks, TV. Yeah, the YOLO thing is, okay, so at some point in the summer, I had an account on Twitter. God, I hate talking about this. This is not what I wanted to talk about. Okay, but I'll address the YOLO thing really quick. The YOLO thing is during the summer, I had an account. There was an account called it was before summer. During that time, Tams was going off on me. Okay. And there was a person who made a comment about her. It was a YOLO account saying that she was a dangerous woman. And then Tams did a video called YOLO, I'm a Dangerous Woman. It was titled that. And so then before that, I noticed on this other video that I did, I had to do, it was actually for school. We had to film a 5-part sequence, like large shot, master shot, over the shoulder, flat lay, you know, close up, extreme close up kind of sequence. And it was about making an airplane. Okay. So I did this kind of spoof. We were just fooling around. I pretended to be like, you know, I was, you know, a professor, whatever, at, you know, Dr. Randolph at Caltech. And I was in the aerodynamics of you know, airplane making. And, you know, it was just kind of, it wasn't, you know, it was just like an assignment. Really, we just had to do the 5 shots, right? And so YOLO made that same account. YOLO made some sort of comment like, "This sucks," or "This is stupid," or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so first the YOLO account is kind of like trolling or being negative, right? And then the YOLO account is, you know, like going, "Oh yeah, Tams is a dangerous woman," right? And apparently it seemed like Tams and whoever this YOLO person was actually really knew each other, all right? And then, okay, I want to be brief with this. I really want to talk about it, but YOLO shows up. So then YOLO, and it was underneath this name like Child of God originally, started following me on X. And they started talking to me and they said, "Oh, I'm YOLO. But I'm really Lori Alexander Swan." All right. And I've already done like videos about this. It's not here anymore, you know, or maybe I've got it on private because I just, you know, some of the stuff I just don't want up on my channel anymore. Because it's weird. And so this YOLO person's talking to me and they're telling me that they're Lori Alexander Swan. And then at some point, the person who is, I don't know if I'm thinking they were like acting like they were Lori Alex Swan, but they weren't Lori Alexander Swan. But they invited me to come over to the Global Watchman News. And I was in the chat and I thought like Lori said, "Hey, Terry, how's it going?" I'm like, "I'm great," you know? And then, you know how everything gets triangulated. So at some point, you know, it's like all of a sudden it's me and Clovis and Tacos against Lori Alexander Swan and Mike Soror. And they're just doing all these videos and, you know, going off about us. And I'm like, and then that YOLO, you know, person, all of a sudden it was like that account, that DM account got hacked. And then instead of it being Child of God, you would drop it down and it would say, "You've been scammed." And then again, there was the rose and the ghost symbol, and you know, all of those typical little symbols, the ghost, the pirate, you know, everything like that. That's all those symbols were all in it. So, okay, now let me go a little farther. Then let's go even a little bit farther when I'm getting falsely accused by that group of women. And there was a big blowout over that, right? About stuff that I was never guilty of. And like that all happened. So that kind of, you know, I broke away from all of it, right? But how I got out of it was the video that it goes back to having Denise on my show. All right. And that video that I was going to play is actually the match of another video. And it was just the audio that was being played. And the video was actually, it was on Detective Gomez. It's a full-on video. And it is something completely different than what they were accusing me of. And it was a past thing. And after I made that match, it was all like everything went silent. Because I don't know if there's anything where else you can go after you match up the whole dialogue there, right? And so this is going to get into the I didn't want to talk about him tonight, but there's something going on with the artist from Nasty Troll Media. And I just recently published, you know, the first part of the Twitter DMs that transpired between us, because it proves that the things that I said about what happened between us are true because it's in the receipt of that dialogue. And one of the things that he denied, and I'm not going to try not to say his name, was that he had been following me on Instagram. And when you watch that video, you will see where he asked me to unblock him on Instagram, or did I block him? You will also see that the date that he tried to contact me for the first time was in December of 2018, was exactly the time that I said that I noticed him following me on Instagram. He also tried to contact me on X. So, in all of that thing, okay, he came back after us kind of like not talking to him for like 2 years. And I guess I pissed him off, or I don't know what happened, but there was no contact. He comes back and recontacts me and goes, I can help you. I was feeling bad. I want to help you, blah, 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 blah. And things happened, which will be revealed in the Twitter, but we had another, like, I didn't trust him. I was, we had a break between, again. And after that, he's done several cartoons referencing YOLO. And, and he told me that YOLO was in fact Colleen Kokar, which I don't believe now either. I don't know who YOLO is, but everybody does it. They do hashtag YOLO. Even Denise has done a stream about YOLO. And so when that person came in here, whoever that person is that's threatening to call my chancellor now, right? About how bad I am. And they're actually saying the professor's name that I tutor for. That account, random internet troll, is doing this person who's bringing that up is probably associated to that account, whom I believe is actually Nasty Troll Media or associated with it. Because, and let me just specify this. The threats that I got about somebody meeting me on campus more than once from more than one account was most from up to date, watch it happen someplace else, happened on his comment section on his thread. And they all do YOLO. Right? All right. Okay. So now the person is coming into my chat and saying that they're going to report me at my job for something that I'm not guilty of, because that's what these people do. That's what they do. All right. This is what targeted harassment and cyber stalking looks like. And let me tell you guys, you're very close to being reported and being criminally prosecuted. And if you think that you can sit here behind your channels or whatever on your X and tweet out Pepe the Frog, right? If you think that that's going to be your marker and that you're going to look like you're the credible people, you must be crazy in your heads. Okay? And they do know the conspiracy cult that you all are associated with. I have not held back anything on whom I've talked to or made reports to or the people that I work for. Trust me. If I hear one thing about my school ever being called by anything, if this ever falls on my shoulders from you guys, it's going to start from the top of the food chain here. And that would be Thomas Schoenberger. Okay? Personally, I don't think squat's going to happen to me. And I really don't appreciate the fact that my live stream is disrupted once again. And if I were to suspect who this is coming from, I'm going to say the names. Chris McGimsey Jones, Dean Fulguri, right? And let's go ahead and throw nasty troll media in there. And yes, there is a link. There is an old video that I found where Thomas Schoenberger was asking about him. So you're all connected. You're all connected. You're all embedded with each other. And here's another thing I think. I think it's one big LARP. It's one big drama. It's one big show with a lot of these players. And you're just spinning a bunch of chaos. And really, you're kind of disgusting people on the internet. And you're harming people's lives. And I personally would love to see some justice. First of all, I want it to stop. And then I want some justice. And then I want some awareness in the public about how this works. And I want some awareness with the conspiracy that it's connected with and how they think they're going to rebrand themselves to something else. How many times have we heard Miss Matau saying, racist statements? Lots. That's it. I'm over it. Okay. I thought Titus had a big LARP show tonight. Why aren't you creeps over there? I mean, either these are total. I try to figure out what is the profile of a troll. What is the profile of these people? What are they like? What kind of jobs do they have? What motivates somebody to create a sock puppet tonight and make some threat about how they're going to come to school, where I work at, and report me to the chancellor? Who is motivated to create a sock puppet account? Because you're required to be my friend to subscribe to my channel for at least 10 minutes. So they're going to create a sock account, actually subscribe to me so that they come here on my channel and say that in my chat on a show that has nothing. Do you see a title in here? Is there anything about LARPing or no? It was about Katt Williams tonight. But no, you had to come here and do this crap in my chat. So what person does that? What does that person look like? What are they getting paid? Or are they psychopaths? Some sick weirdo that just gets off on this? I mean, what is it really? I'll tell you what, I'm really over it. And I am not, you don't scare me really anymore. When you realize the racket that's going on and how these guys get paid on Steam It. Oh, I found another thing on Titus Frost. Another place that he's getting money on. They love crypto, don't they? I think so. Right? So you think that I care that you make a stupid video about me? People go I had skills say something like, I'm sorry, Lisa, triggered you. I go, no, she doesn't trigger me. You want to talk about something in my past and whatever, it's already been talked about. And guess what? Your channels don't have anybody listening to you, really. You have your own echo chamber. It's it's nothing. How does it feel to be nothing? Right? But I'll tell you what, I'll be participating with Rick Holiday in reporting Thomas Schoenberger. I'm interested in exposing, I'm interested in how it works. What's the pattern that you do? I'm out of it now. My life just gets, my personal life just gets better and better. And the more you talk about this being a wig, right, the better my hair gets. See how that works, guys? Yeah. So whatever you're doing is just bouncing off of me, you know? Yeah. So anyway, let's continue. I had a person in the chat come in with the YOLO shit, Sarin, and, you know, threaten. They're naming my professor, and they're threatened to call the chancellor of where I tutor at, that I just even got promoted more up for, basically. They threatened to call the chancellor and report me that I'm a bad girl. So it is a little disconcerting that they're mentioning the professor that I tutor for, and it's disconcerting that they're making something like that, but it's just a probably, it's nothing, you know, but it's creepy. And it's associated with this account called Random Internet Troll. I posted it on my community page. Matter of fact, I tweeted it, I X'd it, and I put it on my Facebook page, and I said, you know, I asked my friends to report your channel. Yeah. So guess what? My friends know what's going on, and even my family knows. So, you know, let's just let the light out on everything right now. 2024 is things are getting exposed, right? Kind of interesting, I think. Yeah, that's because I already zapped it. I've already removed it. But earlier, if you go back and watch this again, the stream, you will see it, because I put a couple of things I posted a couple of things on the screen. Yeah, it's like I'm laughing it off. I just like, thank you, _. You agree with everything I'm saying. Oh, his LARP show is tomorrow. Well. You know what? I hear, Jesse, that you are a major contender and a nominee for LARP of the year. Probably someone paid them to do it. Yeah, I think some of them are getting paid. I mean, why would you do that and not get paid, right? I mean, you mean, seriously. His LARP show is tomorrow. Yeah, I heard. Yeah. I kind of fear that maybe did you see? Now, God, I didn't want to talk about this, but one more thing about the LARP thing, the titties. I'm sorry, I said titties. I'm trying to like be clean on this, but talking about Katt Williams, how clean can you be? The whole like Titus is actually taking a dollar. There's a $1 donation. You can pay $1 on the PayPal and something else in order to vote for who's LARPer of the year. So he's actually monetized it. Wow, I just like, and then they point fingers at other people and go, "You're monetized. You're asking for, donations for your college fund." I'm like, I don't think you have a right to judge me, really. All right? No, sit down. Anyway, okay, so I want to show this. Let's get back on this. All right, I want to show this guy. I like his little glasses and his hat, and Lionel Nation. And I agree with I really agree with what his assessment here.
Katt Williams is a genius. As we speak right now, he is the entertainment topical nuclear weapon whose reach knows no bounds. It is stratospheric. It is extraterrestrial. It is bigger in noise, bigger in volume, bigger in impact than anything that we have discussed heretofore. There is no subject that in our particular world is being met with the ferocity, the velocity, and perhaps the contumacity, or contumacy, I could say, of what he has done in this scorched earth.
Okay, one more thing on the balloon. I talked about it in the beginning. I know, isn't it wild? I left it up here. I go, I can't keep this balloon up here. It's way past New Year's, but it's still floating. I say it's the little balloon that could. Okay.
Indictment against everybody. Katt Williams is a genius. And I love Katt Williams. Do you know why? Let me tell you. I love ferocious truth. I love people who say, I'm going to upend everything that you hold true. In the world of comedy before him, I had the inimitable pleasure of meeting and watching and seeing and following throughout my life Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory was dangerous. Dick Gregory was dangerous. Whatever Katt Williams is doing now.
He was. Dick Gregory was dangerous. And there's a documentary that I watched on HBO a couple years ago. It was so good. I wish I remembered the name, about his life. He did a lot of really amazing things. Okay, here we go.
Now, or anybody else for that matter. Nothing compares to the actual physical peril that Dick Gregory put himself into. He went against everybody. And by the way, in the same world of comedy, Mort Saul, albeit a white version of it, when he went against the Kennedys in his own, you talk about shadow band, guts. Oh, no. Lenny Bruce was wonderful, but that was about words. And George Carlin later on was very powerful, but he never, how do I say this? He didn't face actual physical, forget career, but physical death. But Katt Williams has resurfaced, and that's not the right word. Well, he hasn't resurfaced. It sounds like he's been somehow in the recesses of, or he has revitalized. There's a resurgence in excitement and going after and destroying this world, this phony ersatz, fictive, synthetic world of show business. He talks about the chosen ones. And Shannon Sharp, his reaction, this is Ed McMahon. Did you hear? Oh, come on. Oh, come on. That was beautiful. This is professional wrestling. Is he? And I say that with all due respect, because the greatest performers of all time were professional wrestling. Professional wrestling laid the groundwork. Do you know who was the inspiration for James Brown, Elton John, Freddie Mercury, glam rock, whatever? Go down the list. Elton John, I think I said that one. Gorgeous George Wagner. Gorgeous George, professional wrestling. Post-World War II, the United States was masculine, and we had Bronco Nagurski. No, that's a football player. Dick the Bruiser.
His whole clip, because again, I'm just doing the fair use here, but I want to get more towards the end here.
Made up gobbledygook, but it sounded terrific. Over the weekend, Katt Williams, everybody is taking him and breaking it down. And everybody mentioned should be honored. And what Katt Williams has done to elevate himself, because he's Peck's bad boy and blah, 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 but he speaks the truth. And that is the most dangerous commodity, to speak the truth. That is the shock jock. That is what is shocking. Not merely being profane or cussing, or dare I say coprolalic. No. I'm going to be talking more about this. Spend 30 seconds. Go to YouTube. What is the interview guy? 28, 30 million people watching? Everybody's talking with 100 million different cut-ups, and people take it and they put them on their channel and they break it down. It's the most wonderful. Listen to Mr. Williams's his delivery, the style, the grace, the pattern. He's a heel, but really a face. But wrestling parlance, he's the heel. He sells it. He brings heat. He does everything. He's Harley Race. He's Abdullah the Butcher. He's the original Sheik. He's everybody. He is just. And Dave Chappelle, move over. There is a new king of comedy today. And by the way, it's going to be, yes, his comedy, what he said, but his truth. Because truth is what will get you destroyed. The truth won't set you free. It'll get you arrested. It'll get you shadow banned. It'll get you ruined. And in some respects, dispatched, depending upon your country. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.
I loved his take on the truth. I really believe that. And, you know, I just want to say the comedians historically that have spoken their truth, I really respect. To me, the truth is really important. What is true? Right. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm going for a degree in journalism is because I want to report what is true. I want to know what is true. I want to, you know, because when you speak the truth or you make a joke that has truth, when you're an entertainer like Katt and you're just telling the truth like that, or doing an interview and just like fearlessly calling these people out. And I believe it's because, you know, he's a man of God. I really do. I believe he has faith, and he's just like, I don't care, and I got my attitude. I'm going to say what I want, and you know, and he's such an amazing entertainer and speaker. It's almost like he's a prophet in a way, in like, you know, like in what he did, or someone who's like Dick Gregory. I don't know. It's a very interesting time to see how what Katt Williams is saying, and then how these other, you know, comedians are responding. You know, the actors and the comedians and everything that he called out. You know, what they're saying. It's almost like we're moving into an era where, you know, the you know, the darkness and the all that stuff, right? You know, like the things that we talk about, the you know, the passage into the getting the big step in your career, like what you got to do to get there. You know, we had Harvey Weinstein happen. Okay, that was like with the women, but now these are like comedians, and they're Black comedians, you know, and it's like, and then you throw in that the oppression of Black people in it, and to think about how there's still like, you know, it makes you think, like, not only is it that, you know, that it might be happening from the powers that be that are, you know, pulling in all the other stuff, but you're getting you're getting other entertainers and stars doing it to other people and having their own hierarchy dynamics, because it's like, you know, it's like who, you know. Like, for example, in the Club Shay Shay interview, Katt Williams talks about Martin Lawrence, you know, saying, hey, you know, Katt, I'm going to keep you in mind. We're going to do one of those cop buddy movies together. And like, you know, Katt's like, I'm down. You know, you put me down, you call me up, I'll be there and I'll be in your movie. And he says, and when they got the script, it was Big Mama's House 2 or something like that. And they wanted him to wear a dress. And he was like, this is what you're giving me? Like, you know, and again, that starts from, you know, the whole Dave Chappelle talking about it, like it's like a humiliation ritual for them to wear the dress. And it's not just something that, oh, that's conspiracy, or, oh, that's not how it works. It's really happening. And they tend to want to put the dress on Black male comedians, right? Which kind of gives you that other element of, you know, slavery or racism, or, you know what I'm saying? So that's why this is so important, because it's going through all kinds of dynamics of how Hollywood works and what might really be still existing within this entertainment business that's supposed to be, pushing, like they take their celebrities and they have them push out, like the more, forward thinking, issues, right? But then they're still kind of doing this old school type of treatment of the performers that they're hiring. That's making them, because they're talented, those studios and those execs are making so much money off of them. And yet and you would think that, if you had an opportunity to be in a film like that, that at that point in your life, you would have some play where you wouldn't have to be asked to wear a dress, to be a Black comedian and have to wear a dress. You would think that it would be that you would be above that. And yet there it is. Yeah, the dress thing is a big deal. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. You knew it was trendy, but you learned from me. Okay, thank you, Winter Moon. Hi, by the way. I've been watching your posts and stuff. I'm probably like I've given you a few likes. So yeah. Yeah, it's really it's weird too, because I was telling him I saw there was a student that another student at Fresno State, and we were on the bus and I saw him, and his name is Little Shrimp, and I go, Little Shrimp, and and then we hugged each other, in that little part in the bus, and I go, yeah, he goes, what are you gonna do, stream tonight? And I go, yeah, I'm gonna stream on Katt Williams. And I go, I wrote an article, on him, and he goes, yeah, I read it. And I'm like, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah. So, I will wear your wig, but I refuse to wear a dress. You know what, Jesse? You're wearing that wig just a little bit too much. I'm kidding. But I see you pop it on a lot. I love it, right? No, you don't have, don't wear the dress. Oh, Saran says, oh, come on, Jesse. Look, okay, let's talk about men wearing dresses in general, right? I mean, as entertainers, because men have been playing women, and we've been laughing at it since I can remember being a kid, right? I'm like, Milton Berle was a little ahead of my time, but they showed the reruns, right? So there's Milton Berle and dress. By the way, I met Milton Berle one time. Okay, I did meet Milton Berle at the Friars Club, and I remember. Okay, wait, I'm going to digress here for a second, but I remember when okay, so I was at the Friars Club. I was at this special meeting with some. They were producers. One of the producers did That Girl, right? And there was another guy named Vic Dunlap who ended up becoming my manager at some point, and a comic that I was a mentor. But at one point, we're asked, do you want to meet Milton Berle? And I'm like, yes, we want to meet Milton Berle. So we did. He was there, and everybody shook his hand. And then, but at some point in the middle of that, I shook his hand, and he wouldn't let my hand go. He was holding on my hand. He was shaking everybody else like that, I'm like, oh, he's kind of flirting with me. But he didn't make me, it never went any farther than that. It was kind of funny. And then Vic Dunlap turned to me and he goes, I heard he has a big schlong. That's the whole story. Apparently he's Milton Berle's hung. But now this, I'm probably gonna clip this. Look at me. Look, man, I'm the queen of dick jokes. Okay, don't trust me. I could just see them going. Okay, but yeah, Milton Berle. Okay, so where was I in this conversation? Okay, so Katt. Oh, Men in Dress. Okay, so Some Like It Hot. Remember Some Like It Hot? That movie. I mean, there was so many, and Tu Wong Fu. I mean, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Okay, so I kind of like, I don't have a problem with like watching it in terms of like, you know, entertainment. And then, you know, you go back to when theater started, you know, women weren't even allowed on stage. Like, you know, Romeo and Juliet was played by a man, basically. So, you know, men have really historically have been emulating women, you know, in terms of like entertainment, you know, since its onset. So, you know, but when you take it in the context of, you know, certain entertainers feeling that it's being done to them to degrade them, and then it's like a humiliation ritual, or it's like an initiation, like, will you put on the dress, you know, like as if it's like the beginning of like, what are you willing to sacrifice in your own feeling or your own values. It's really about your moral code of what you're okay with. And as you make those deals with them, you know, I'm talking about like, you know, the producers or whomever wants you to, you know, whoever wanted Katt Williams to be in a dress or Martin Lawrence to be in a dress. You know, there's an undertow of other comedians who aren't willing to do that. They see that comedian as being a sellout. Like it's as if they've sold a part of their soul for, you know, their riches of doing it. That's kind of how it seemed. They say the funniest thing for me was when I was closing one night and someone's fake boobs had fell out of their back and were laying in the hall. That's hysterical. You know, I used to, like, speaking of like clubs, you know, like, or you're talking about like drag shows and drag queens and stuff like that. There was a place in Pasadena called Encounters, and I used to host the drag shows. All right, first I started out kind of hosting the drag shows, and then I actually produced some comedy stuff at that in the venue as well. But one night I actually did drag. I did a drag act with she, you know, he was Cher and I was Sunny. And I swear to God, I put his wig on and the mustache and everything. And I, you know, had like, you know, like the vest that, you know, like he wore, and because he was taller than me and I was shorter, it just worked so perfect, right? And then we just like lip synced the whole thing. And I had a friend that was there, and he was like, and he said, for the longest time I kept going, who is Sunny? Like, who the hell is Sunny? And then he goes, oh my God. And then I realized it was you. So I had him fooled a little bit. Yeah, it was so much. Oh my God. Those are fun times. You know, I remember like, and I was like, back then I was like in my 30s, you know, so I was like real thin and in shape and everything. And I used to like to dress, you know, I had a flair with my clothes, you know. And I remember like one drag queen, we were out, like there was a patio where you can smoke and drink at it. And I remember she looked at me and she goes, honey, you could wear a burlap sack and you'd be in fashion. And I was like, wow, thanks. You could pull off a burlap sack. And I'm like, oh, you know, back then, I don't know. I don't think it would look so good on me now. People would be like going, ma'am, do you need $1? Like, are you home? Anyway, I'll stop. Okay. All right. So that was one thing on Katt Williams. All right. And another thing that stands out to me in this in everything that's going on is Tiffany Haddish. Okay. Apparently Katt said some stuff about Tiffany Haddish, and this show, which is actually what is it, the title? It's Tissa Tells, okay. But the reason why I want to show you this one clip of Tiffany Haddish that cracks me up, and I want to get to that one part, and then I also have a Tiffany Haddish story because I did do a show with her one time. It was Ludovica's funny burlesque show. And she was on that show, and kind of like right when she was starting to like really break really big. But apparently she's been having also some issues and what looks like maybe some addiction issues. And I think Katt's saying that, you know, she sold out too. But there's this one thing that just cracks me up, and I just wanted to share it with you.
Just look at that. Like, she's performing, and here Tiffany go with her lame ass. Like, girl, get the fuck back from this girl. The song don't even call for all that.
Why Oprah acting like she don't hear us?
If there's going to be a life of the party, it's going to be her. And now I'm stalking Oprah, and I brought her into it.
I'm helping with the stocking.
Because I could go to jail, but they're not going to arrest her.
Oprah looking good today.
She does. And she really good. She don't have on our colors, but she over herself.
Yeah, she popping. She got that chocolate on. Sparkly chocolate is what it looked like from here.
She got her ponytail up.
She got her ponytail. She got her, you know.
Look, Oprah's on the go.
She got her genie.
Oprah's on the go. Oh, yeah, they took it over.
You looking good, Oprah. She ready.
We over here. Oprah, we over here, Oprah. Bye, Oprah.
She ready.
Bye, Oprah.
That cracks me up. You looking good, Oprah? She ready. She ready. I don't know why that strikes me so funny. I just want to say that now. Like, you know, like if I'm going to do a show, I'm like, she ready. Oh, you go. She ready. I think that's funny.
No.
If you turn around, we right here.
You turn around, we right here, Oprah.
Looking good, girl.
Yo, this next one's one for the book. So if you don't know, Tiffany Haddish was at a Major League Baseball game. There was a fan who was inebriated, and her name was Adrian, and she was desperate to get Tiffany's attention because she wanted a picture. And this was Tiffany's response.
Shay, stopping for you. Shakira, you gotta turn around, baby. There she go. Sorry.
Like, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Like it makes me like I feel bad for her. Like, I'm like, what happened? Like, what's happening to her? Like, is she having like is it an MK Ultra thing? Is she having like some sort of breakdown? Like, honestly, when I watch it, I just kind of feel like, oh my goodness, you know?
Shay, stopping for you. Shakira, you gotta turn around, baby.
I mean, you think, okay, is she on drugs? Is she drunk? I mean, I know that there's been like some drinking stuff that's been coming on, but
ask me to do shit just to get. Oh, she's a nice person. Tiffany's so nice and so sweet. That nice shit. That nice shit. I'm tired of being fucking nice to you, raggedy motherfuckers, and y'all lazy. Lazy.
So I'm gonna say right now, you know, like all you guys that have taken clips of me having some sort of like rant or meltdown on YouTube or whatever, I guess I shouldn't feel that bad because, you know, Tiffany Haddish has this going on, you know, so whatever.
Stop being so fucking lazy. God. I'm just tired of people playing with me.
I like her hair though.
Don't nobody want to work for free. I don't even ask.
I mean, she looks so pretty.
People to work for free. especially if I've ever paid you one day, if you ever did any work for me directly and I paid you or I offered to pay you, don't be expecting me to show up for nothing. Leave my whole damn state to go to a whole nother state, not even a direct flight, and you want to get the amount of money these people want to give me. I can make that money. I could go to one comedy club and make 17 times that amount of money in 30 minutes. I'm sick of being nice.
So apparently she did a gig, and I guess that she didn't get paid, or she didn't get what she was supposed to have. And you know, again, you look at this and you're like, oh my God, how could that happen to her at this level? I mean, there's tons of stories about sometimes how, you don't end up getting paid, or you get booked on something and it falls out, and like you're already out there. Maybe you're doing this is like lower level though, but still. Well, maybe not. I mean, like there's like a bigger act will still do one-nighters, but there was a whole tour done, and then like all of a sudden, like half of each 2 weeks gets dropped out, and then all of a sudden you think you're gonna make $1,500, $2,000 when you're done, and you end up going, oh, I'm gonna go home with 500. And after you've like paid for your gas and what your travel and everything else. And so like it's like you think that happens earlier on in your career, or not at this level when you're where you're at a level of like Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, it does. You get stiffed. It's and the sometimes the contracts are murky, like someone like most of the comedy clubs that I went on tour for, they didn't send me like a contract. I mean, it would be like the Funny Bone. I would be booked for the week, or 2 weeks or whatever. And I would call up and I'd go, okay, I'm just double checking that I'm still booked on blank, blank, blank date. And then I would get whatever plane ticket or however I was going to get out there, whether I was going to drive or take a bus or whatever. And usually like when you're on the road, you want to be on the road like you might be on the road for like a month or 6 weeks, where you booked yourself in a certain region of the country, so that when you come home you got a little bit of money after you've done because they would house us. Like they would, like the hotel room or the apartment that you're staying at, and you're staying with the other act in the apartment for the whole week, or the other acts. They called it the condo, but it was really an apartment. You don't pay for that, but they like, and some gigs did pay for your travel, especially if they were taking you out of the country. But for the most part, the travel expenses are it used to be better, back in the heyday, but as comedy clubs became more commonplace, they stopped charging admission, right? And they would just paper the room like, oh, you won free tickets. Oh, you won free tickets again. So people aren't paying for the admission. They're just paying for the drinks and the food. So basically the business is making money off the food and drinks rather than the actual admission on a lot of comedy clubs, unless they have like a special event. Like, let's say George Lopez is coming in, then George Lopez is going to take the door, or he's going to, have a bigger budget. And then there's some other negotiation that comes in. But if it's just like up and coming comics, or on the verge of something, or, they have a TV credit or two or something like that, but they're still in the regular feature, opener feature headliner. Most of those comedians they have a fixed pay for each position, and then whatever. So yeah. So anyway, okay, so there's the Katt Williams thing here, and I mean Tiffany Haddish, and then I think I'm just going to, and by the way, this is like my last stream. I actually start classes tomorrow. So, I mean, I'm going to still be streaming here and there, but this is my last stream of my vacation. Okay. I want to just do a little bit of the body language guy. And then I'm going to get into the alien stuff a little bit, and then I'll kind of wrap it up. So the body language guy did an analysis on Katt, and I want to show a little bit of what, because look, I mean, like everybody's talking about him, right? So now there's somebody who is studying his body language. So let's watch this a little bit.
By Shannon Sharp for the Club Shay Shay, and as of this recording, the 3-hour video had broken the 38 million views. And you might be asking the same question that I asked. Why? And the answer is pretty simple. He unleashed on the current state of Hollywood and entertainment in general, from famous comedians cheating their way to the top, all the way to how to make it in Hollywood. You absolutely need to sell your soul to the big fish. And regardless if you believe that Hollywood and the music industry are actually big cults that require sacrifices from the people wanting to make it to the big leagues, this video is about identifying the signals that tell you when someone is telling the truth and when, well, you can take what they say with a grain of salt. Hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy.
We should get the body language guy to do Denise Matau. Wouldn't that be cool, right? Like, can you analyze Thomas Schoenberger? Okay.
And make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my body language analysis and tips. Let's get down to it. There is one clip that is representative of the whole interview and is one of the most viral right now. Better yet, is the one that can help us identify these body language signals so you can reach your own conclusions. I will play the clip and then we'll tell you what the clip is about so you can watch it out of context first and you can absorb the body language raw in that first view.
That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? What? Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
So of all the interview, this is one of the most important topics. People selling their soul to Hollywood. You just had a glimpse of Williams' body language and your quick systems are already forming an idea about his credibility. But let's keep watching.
They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case.
So Gary Owen, if you remember, like earlier tonight, maybe some of you guys who might be popping in a little bit later, I showed Corey Holcomb talking, but a little bit in that footage on the Black Balloon YouTube channel, they were talking about Gary Owen, who couldn't make it in Hollywood because he didn't sell his soul, really. And we talk about make it, we're not talking about, like, I guess there's different levels of making it, because obviously Gary Owen is somebody who's made it to a certain level because Katt Williams is talking about him, right? But in terms of getting like that big money, that big career, that, you know, big picture deal, this and that, because like, really, when you're doing comedy, that's the next progression of where you're going to go to. It's not that you're just going to stay in the clubs and do stand-up. Like some people, some comics, you know, like for example, remember Steve Martin's comedy act when, you know, the wild and crazy guy with the rabbit ears and playing the banjo back then. He never really went back to doing clubs anymore. He became like you know, writing films and all kinds, you know, parts and everything, whatever. Sometimes that person who started out as a stand-up never really returns to being a stand-up. But someone like Katt Williams is one of those people where he's definitely a stand-up comedian. He even though he gets acting parts, like some comics go, I'm a stand-up and I'm going to be doing stand-up till the day I, you know, don't breathe anymore. And I think Katt Williams is one of those people.
Williams' main premise is that if you don't sell your soul to Hollywood, then you will never make it. And in the previous clip, he mentioned Gary Owen to prove his point that it is not about being black or white, since Owen is white, and it's not a lack of trying either, since Owen has nurtured a successful career over a quarter of a century. Williams implies that since Owen hasn't made it big, it's because he hasn't sealed the deal with the Hollywood Devils. But let's keep watching and remember to keep an eye on his body language.
If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't.
Well, I forgot to tell you that when I say body language, I also meant that you had to pay attention to his voice, how he speaks, how he sounds. We're about to start the analysis right after the next clip, where I want you to pay attention to the interviewer's body language as well.
They have all the assets and resources, and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't. Wow.
So the first impression we have from his body language is one of confidence. But sometimes people are lying and they can speak in a confident way, right? How can we tell the difference? How can we know it's legit? Well, the first clue that I notice is Williams' posture. Throughout most, if not all, the interview, he was sitting on the edge of the seat, leaning forward or towards sharp. That is a sign of both being interested and also being excited about what you are saying. When the talker sits this way, it's usually because they want to see the other's reaction. Not only that, but he's also thrusting his head forward. That reinforces the excited part. He's got very intense feelings about what he's saying, and he projects it with his head and neck. At the same time, he keeps his hands visible and planted over his legs. It's a very tense posture that bolsters his general attitude. In the first clip, after he referenced how the people who sell their souls to Hollywood act like it never happened, he makes a pause. That kind of pauses are a way to emphasize his point, the gravity of the situation. But how does that verbal pause is communicated by his body language? Well, in that exact pause, he had his chin up, which is a bit of arrogance and defiance, and he's sitting perfectly straight, still on the edge of the seat. This is a way of saying with your body language that you're being serious. He's not hunching or leaning back or trying to hide his face to one side. He's facing the interviewer head on, again, waiting for his reaction. Even so, when he was making this very important pause, his hands were in a different position. One was making a very slight touch of the other, or at least that's what it seems, because the angle of the camera can be a bit confusing. Either way, his left hand, which is our more emotional hand, is in a fist, which is a quick tell of how strong he feels about what's going on in the entertainment industry.
Okay, so, and again, I don't want to play the whole thing. I'm just going to go to where he kind of just wraps it up. Oh, and I just remembered there's a couple more things I do want to show you.
Affected by what he's saying
about this topic.
And this happens while he's addressing the topic. And the right hand is doing illustrator gestures, pointing with his thumb. So try it for yourself. Try to talk with someone using your right hand to emphasize what you're saying, but faking your left hand gesture at the same time. Good luck making it look natural. Also, the hand here finishes protecting his genitals as well. Deep inside, he still feels threatened by what he is saying. If you want to go deeper in Williams' body language, there are also signals both in his brows and his neck. We have been talking about all the intensity he projects with his body and his gestures. But what about up close? Well, not only that vein popping on his neck, it's part of that strong emotion, that's an easy one to spot, but also his brow expression. At this exact moment, he was, again, talking about how Hollywood really works. It's a blend between disgust and angst, but it also has a touch of sadness in there. Again, this interview was almost 3 hours long, and there are other moments when he's talking about specific people from the entertainment industry. It was especially fun when he said that Ludacris had made a multi-million pact with the Illuminati. His body language signals are pretty much the same in all those cases, but if you want me to take a closer look at other moments of this interview, just let me know in the comments. My body language buddies, don't
Okay,
forget
anyway,
to download my
and since
free
you did
one-
say Ludacris, I do have a video pulled up with Ludacris's response to what Katt said about him selling out. So so that was the body analysis guy. Okay, here's Ludacris. Here's Ludacris. All right, this is from Hip Hop DX. I'm gonna like kind of just show a little bit of that right there. Hold on.
Williams dissed his wife. What's up? It's Asia Sky for Hip Hop DX.
Okay, so basically, you know, when Katt made that comment about, you know, like when you sell your soul, you get a deal and you get the big picture deal and blah 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 blah, and then you get like the ugly white woman or something like the not so good looking woman in the face white woman or something like that. Okay,
So Ludacris has responded to Katt Williams after Katt Williams dissed his wife. What's up? It's Asia Sky for Hip Hop DX, and check this
okay,
out.
just to give you a
Katt
little
Williams made a
backstory on
viral
this, just so if you're not sure, Katt also talks about how he went to Illuminati party and they had him, and the reason why, see, like when you go to their his IMDb or you look at Ludacris on IMDb, you will see. Oh, am I sharing this right? Yeah, okay, I'm sharing it. You will see that they claim that he's either a nephew or a cousin, that they're related. But on the show, you know, he's asked, "Are you related to Ludacris?" And he says no. But what did happen was how they kind of were put together at like an Illuminati party, and you know, they made a decision, and he said something like, "You're gonna have to like have your face shaved," no, you know, and this other stuff. What's happening? Hold on. What happened? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? You okay? Okay, you want outside? You want to go inside? Like you just jumped. That's my cat. That's Orlando. He usually likes to appear, but I was just like, he just seemed like I was worried he's even distressed for a minute, but he's fine. He likes to go out on the balcony. So you might hear him because then he does his cat howl for a while. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to let this play out for a minute.
Appearance on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast on Wednesday, January 3rd, where he made several flagrant remarks about some of his comedy and acting peers. During the almost 3-hour conversation, Williams also took a shot at Ludacris by claiming that he landed his role in the Fast and Furious franchise by making a deal with the Illuminati. Katt Williams went on to make things more personal by saying the rapper ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife.
So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people? Yes. It's part of what they give you. Okay? I didn't get it.
Hours later, Ludacris hit back by spitting a not-so-subliminal freestyle over Kanye West's Devil in a New Dress, in which he addressed the Illuminati claims. In the diss, he also referenced the comedian's alleged history of drug use.
Never been Illuminati, only Illuminati, and I only left with...
Okay, and I don't want to get like a sound strike on that, so we'll just leave it at that. So you got that thing that's going on. Okay. Hey, Angela G. Hi. Thanks for popping in. Thanks. I'm covering Katt Williams tonight. Well, there was a little bit of drama earlier that popped in, but you know what? We're not gonna focus on that. All right. Okay. So, now the next thing, that I want to share, is, okay, hold on. There's Tiffany Haddish. Oh, okay. This is wild. This is freaking wild. All right, you got to watch this. The title of this one is Katt Williams confirms that Diddy tried to this funny. Like even this channel, which is Trim Tia, is spelling it K numeral 1LL. Okay, Jamie Foxx for refusing to freak. Okay, that's the title of the video. All right, here we go. Katt Williams confirms that Diddy tried to KILL Jamie Foxx for refusing to freak offs. Okay, now you know when Jamie Foxx got really sick, this is what it's getting into. And apparently Jamie Foxx like at one point wanted to go to Diddy's parties and film it with a camera. All right, and so I'm gonna play this here. Hold on. See, guys, I look at other things other than, you know, this craziness that's happening on YouTube. I hope you guys do too, because I really want to talk about other things. Okay, here we go.
So Jamie Foxx suffered a very serious medical emergency that landed him in the hospital. And we are going to describe just how serious this is.
I would show up to the party in my little town car. There's town, you know, I grab me a town car so I could skirt. Puff SUVs and the Bentleys, the whole night. He get out. I get out too with a camera. The big Canon, like, yo, Puff, I should document this, right? Yo, what's up, Playboy? What you talking about? I should get this, man. You files for the whole night. He says, yeah, let him through. Excuse me. So I get that. But at that time, it wasn't like the little camera y'all got. It was the big intrusive Canon. I had a battery pack. Hold on, man. Let me change the pack. Put my light on here. Do that again, Puff. Do that again. I missed that one. Do that again. Put the pack. So I started following him. So I followed him the whole time. I remember watching Puff at the Beverly Hills Hotel, filming it.
Oh boy, it seems like the Diddy drama is spiraling into a whole new level of crazy because Katt Williams just dropped some bombshells, accusing Diddy of allegedly trying to unalive Jamie Foxx after Jamie decided to step away from Diddy's infamous freak-offs. Remember when Jamie faced that serious medical emergency last year? Well, buckle up, because it wasn't just some random health scare. It was allegedly orchestrated by none other than Diddy himself. Katt is now spilling all the tea on how Jamie found himself on the brink of disaster due to his mysterious illness, and he's pointing fingers directly at Diddy. This story is wild, and CAG didn't hold back on any details. Now, the burning question is, why is Katt choosing to speak up about this now, and is he really part of a larger conspiracy to take Diddy down? The timing is raising eyebrows, and we can't help but wonder if there's more to the story that's yet to unfold.
I'm gonna tell you like I told Puffy, I don't let men take me out, sir. I'm good. I'll do no damage.
Okay, so at this point, I think we can all agree that some very powerful people are behind Diddy's downfall. Because, girl, the more we hear about him, the more we realize the messed up things that Diddy was allegedly involved in for years. And think about it. If Diddy has gotten away with this alleged behavior for more than 20 years, why is he getting exposed now? Well, Katt has all the answers to that, because he is now claiming that the reason Diddy is now getting exposed is that he has fallen out of favor with the Hollywood higher-ups who have always protected him for years. And now that Diddy no longer has that protection, he is free game. And that's why we're starting to see more stories and revelations come out about him. Now, Katt has never been the type of person to shy away from talking about the shady side of Hollywood. And he has spoken about Diddy a couple of times in the past because he has never been...
for a second. What was he wearing? Wait, where did that go? Okay, I'm sorry. Never mind. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I just thought it was interesting. Like, let's go to here for that. is he wearing there? I was just looking at the
To
jewelry.
see more stories and revelations come out
Okay.
about him. Now, Katt has never been the type of person to shy away from talking about the shady side of Hollywood. And he has spoken about Diddy a couple of times in the past because he has never been scared of Diddy or his backers. However, he is taking things a step further now and exposing some really sinister sides of Diddy. Now, most things that people have exposed Diddy for are stuff about him putting paws on people or allegedly essaying people, but Katt has something crazier to talk about because he just claimed that Diddy allegedly tried to unalive Jamie Foxx. Back in April last year, we all got wind of Jamie Foxx being hospitalized. The family kept the real details under wraps, and you know when there's a lot of hush-hush, something's cooking. Turns out that something might just be Diddy. According to Katt, Jamie, who was a longtime attendee of Diddy's notorious wild parties, recently broke down and opened up to him about what really goes down behind the closed doors of these extravagant gatherings. He didn't hold back, sharing tales of wild pool parties, lavish spending, drugs, and some eyebrow-raising activities that left fans in utter shock. If you've been keeping your ears to the streets, you know Diddy's parties are the stuff of legends. Rumors about the wild shenanigans there have been circulating for ages, and it's not just about popping bottles and hitting the dance floor. Oh no, according to the grapevine, there's a whole other level of shenanigans going down behind those VIP doors. We're talking about orgies, and not just with anyone, but allegedly with male rappers, and shockingly, some even claim underage boys in certain cases. It's kind of mind-boggling when you think about it, but hey, it's Diddy we're talking about, and whispers about his alleged involvement in such activities have been around for decades. Allegedly, of course. So let's talk about how Diddy's parties are a whole different breed of crazy. It's not just the wild parties that got people spilling the tea about Diddy. Recent news about some twisted incidents made the news, and it got worse with his ex-girlfriend Cassie's lawsuit, which opened Pandora's box for Diddy. Cassie straight up dropped a bombshell in that lawsuit, revealing just how messed up her relationship with Diddy was. Turns out Diddy had a penchant for male escorts, and Cassie spilled all the deets on some seriously wild escapades. She really went on, and girl, the things she said in that lawsuit are straight out of a horror movie. According to Cassie, Diddy would bring in these male escorts, and she found herself tangled up in some intimate encounters. And it wasn't just about watching. Diddy played the director, calling the shots during these so-called freak-offs. Cassie also spilled that Diddy used to record these escapades, confirming what Jamie Foxx used to do at the Diddy parties he frequented. The rumor mill suggests Diddy allegedly took advantage of young artists at these gatherings, coercing them into engaging in questionable activities. Jamie Foxx was a regular at these parties until he mysteriously fell ill and almost died. Jamie, in his own way, had hinted about the things going down at these parties, even if he didn't spill all the details. He once talked about the craziness at Diddy's parties and even claimed that Diddy once assigned him the task of recording the questionable activities that...
Okay, so I'm going to push it a little forward. It's going to go on. I just want to get a little farther down in here. Okay, it gets into like Tupac a little bit. Hold on.
Sharing a buddy-buddy vibe with Diddy. He went on the record making statements that had people talking. Suga wasn't the type to beat around the bush. He threw shade at Diddy and spilled the real tea on what Diddy was up to behind the scenes. Let's not forget Tupac Shakur, who had an intense rivalry with Diddy. Tupac, known for his candidness, had suspicions about Diddy's sexuality and didn't hesitate to voice his concerns about Diddy being on the DL. Whispers were floating around the industry, and Tupac, true to his nature, addressed them head on. And what about 50 Cent? He's been on Diddy's case for as long as we can remember.
Okay,
50 Cent was among the first to clock on.
I just think it's interesting that Tupac comes up because, you know, he had his demise that happened to him. And it's just like, you're wondering, like, there was, I think I remember having a little bit of a rumor or hearing wind of, you know, like one of the conspiracies was that Diddy was in that too. So, okay, this, all right. And then here's where it gets kind of not so good. Hold on.
Paved the way for their success. Little did they know Diddy wasn't handing out freebies. Brisha Gray's introduction to Diddy happened through his manager, Charlie Mack, who helped him land his role in Empire. Brisha had goals of becoming a rapper, so Charlie Mack connected him with Will Smith, who then linked him up with Diddy. Now, considering the rumors about Will being a frequent participant in Diddy's wild escapades, you can connect the dots. The streets are buzzing with claims that Diddy allegedly blackballed Brisha when Brisha grew tired of the wild activities, which might explain why Breischer faded from the scene after Empire. But hold on, there's more. Even Usher, Diddy's protege, isn't exempt from the whispers surrounding Diddy's peculiar fantasies. Usher spilled the tea in an interview with Howard Stern, recounting how he was sent off to live with Diddy at the tender age of 14, all orchestrated by L.A. Reid. With Diddy rubbing shoulders with big names in the industry, Usher got a first-hand look at the industry. Usher spilled the beans about his time living with Diddy, and let me tell you, it was more than he bargained for. While trying to learn the ins and outs of the industry, Usher was also dragged into what Diddy called the Diddy Flavor Camp. And trust me, it wasn't your typical music boot camp. Picture this, a 14-year-old Usher, away from home, suddenly thrust into Diddy's world of flavor camp. You can't help but wonder what kind of flavors were on that menu. Although Usher didn't dish out all the details in his interview, he hinted at witnessing some seriously wild stuff that a young teenager shouldn't have been exposed to.
Not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was understand.
Okay, and then so you're kind of getting where, you know, it seems like there has been like a certain level of grooming of young people, young, you know, rap artists, singing artists, that they've been pulled into this.
Older, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes.
My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, I mean, damn, pause, but like, check this out. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world.
Now hold on a second. Frosted Flakes? Seriously? There's more to this tale than meets the eye. Fans were left scratching their heads, wondering what was really going on between them. And whatever it was, it seemed very shady indeed. However, it seemed like Diddy snapped back to reality after those words escaped his lips, swiftly trying to move past it, while Usher stood there.
Okay, and then let me see. I'm trying to find this one part. There's Bieber.
Such a tender age.
There was a time where I was.
Okay. This one clip I'm looking for. I think it's in the other video. Okay, there's a little more Jamie Foxx here.
Together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of.
I've eaten at Mel's Diner. Hold on, here we go. Come on, give me Jamie Foxx.
But he was also bisexual.
So back in the 90s, my mom nicknamed Jamie Foxx. Like if you take the O out of his name and replace it with a U, that's what she used to call him. But to his face, it's like a haha joke because he used to bang so many guys and girls in Hollywood.
But that's not even the juiciest part of the story because her next revelation is shocking.
And he used to have these things called butt naked basketball games, okay? He would invite over a lot.
See, now I don't know if, like, who is this person, right? I mean, it's like all of a sudden this woman pops up and she's gonna like give out this juicy detail. Is this TikTok or something? I'm just gonna have to like say, I'm not so sure about this attribution right here. And if I guess that's her right up there, like that's her talking about Jamie Foxx, and so just think about like being an entertainer or whatever, and then like at some point you have some person that you dated that's going to be in front of the camera doing something like this. So I don't know. I mean, I think that there's some people that are kind of might be jumping on the bandwagon just to get out there, and I mean, they get on the, like a whole thing starts spinning, and then boom, all these other ladies pop out on their TikTok accounts.
Out of like Hollywood's elite to his house for a basketball game, but it was men only, and they would be like, oh, we're just gonna get naked and play basketball. It's like, oh, haha, let's get naked and play basketball together, which is weird. And this happened.
Man, naked basketball. That sounds painful. Okay, let's move on that. Okay.
It's probably a front for some adult activity.
Okay, so I think this is pretty much all I want to show on this one. There's another one. There's this one clip that I want you guys to see, and then I'm gonna move off of Katt, but I can't promise. But there's something else. Okay, this is it. I think this is it. Katt Williams slams Diddy for putting a hit on him. Okay, so I think this is the one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. Maybe. I think that's it. Yeah. Wait, I'm just doing one more little check through. Yeah, I think that's it right there. Yep. Yeah. Okay, there's one thing I want you guys to see. Definitely. Okay. So let's play this one. I hope nobody spills the beans into the tea. Yeah. The tears. It's kind of like learning a new I didn't know, like, spilling the tea, meaning like you're telling the truth, really. I'm going to spill the tea. I'm going to spill the tea on you. We're going to spill the tea on you, Thomas Schoenberger. Okay.
Y'all, not Katt Williams exposing Diddy for trying to kidnap him and SA him, just when we thought maybe we've heard the last of the...
this is crazy. I mean, you've got, like, you know, and when I say crazy, I'm not saying it's crazy. I don't think it's true. I think it's probably crazy and true. But this is how it is. Like, you have, you know, P. Diddy trying to give Katt $50,000 to have sex with him. And then you have P. Diddy, like, he doesn't. So now he's trying to put a hit on him and kidnap him and everything. I mean, I heard P. Diddy got arrested. Puffy going to jail. Puffy. Yeah, there's, I mean, some bad stuff is coming out on P. Diddy right now. I'm telling you, 2024 is the light is coming out. All's being revealed.
Surviving Diddy series, more and more keeps coming out. In a bombshell of an interview, Katt Williams literally gave us a big shocker and blew things all into the open once again. Now, get this. According to Katt, dear old Diddy has been trying to seduce him for years. That's not all. Diddy also allegedly offered Katt a whopping $50 million for a one-night stand, putting in perspective how down...
I underestimated that. Wasn't $50,000. He offered him $50 million. Wow, that's a big difference.
Bad Diddy has been for Katt. But as it turns out, Diddy is not a fan of Katt spilling this story about him, and he tried to get his lick back by allegedly putting out a hit on Katt. Word on the streets is that Diddy allegedly got Katt kidnapped and almost SA'd him, and girl, it looks like Diddy is finally going after his ops once again. However, he only ended up making Katt even more furious at him, because Katt is now spilling some more tea on Diddy, including alleged freak-offs with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Did Diddy really help Jay-Z drug Beyonce? You can definitely trust Katt to spill every last drop of this gist.
I mean, that whole thing about drugging her is just really, that's disturbing.
Girl, he definitely didn't disappoint, because everything he said about the situation is extremely crazy, and he also has receipts to back up his story. Now, the big question is Diddy so drunk in love with Katt, or is he just down bad and needs to get Katt into his bed, or what? A few days into the new year, Shannon Sharpe and Katt Williams decided to unleash chaos on the internet when they dropped a bombshell interview and put the entire internet in a literal chokehold. Now, Katt rarely speaks on issues, but when he gets a chance to talk, he really speaks. And in this episode, he spilled some crazy tea that had us all gagged. He had a whole lot to say about your dearest Hollywood celebs, including Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and a host of others. He talked widely on a lot of topics, but the most interesting part of the interview, which caught a lot of people's attention, was the wild stories he had to tell about Puff Daddy. Like I said earlier, Katt mentioned that Diddy tried to seduce him and get him into his bed.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need no? You here? Get your note.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
According to sources, when Katt turned him down, Diddy allegedly threatened to essay him. Now, except you've been AWOL or living out of space, you should already know what's up with Diddy and his gay activities. Even way before Katt told his side of the story, there had been circulation of stories that Diddy had been trying to proposition some young men in the industry. And that's not all. For a long time now, the streets have been talking about how flirty Diddy is and how he never seems to keep it inside his pants because he has just been slinging it across town. But the plot twist, he's been flirty with men and women. He has not just been keeping a harem of chicks, but of the men's alleged.
And did you notice like Tiffany Haddish there? Yeah.
This news isn't new because there have been talks from a long time ago that Diddy might be taking a liking to men. In fact, back in the 90s, Wendy Williams was one of the strong voices who tried to expose Diddy's secret gay act.
Okay, and so it goes on, and then I'm gonna go like right, maybe here. Oh, we're gonna pinwheel for a while.
And as far as New York, you know, they was a powerhouse.
No, let's go to. I'm gonna get that one clip.
A lot of people. We were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, "Yo, I'm gonna drug their ass off and pick them up and pip them out to my niggas." He said, "I'm gonna drug them out."
Oh, like we gotta hear this. We gotta get the setup on.
Idea who he was, and facts I told my daddy that the guy was probably a child molester. Yeah, he basically looked at us all funny. And according to Gene Deal, the pimping out of young stars wasn't limited to Jermaine only. Diddy also had plans to pimp out the members of his girl band, Dainty Kane.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this.
Farther, hold on. Sorry.
She mentioned that he forced her to be intimate with male escorts while he watched and pleasured himself. But according to Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, Diddy got pleasure from the freak-offs in...
Oh. Why is it pinwheeling? That's weird. Let me pull back. Hold on. Get back to it. Oh, here we go. All right, let me go again here. Hold on. Let me just put it here.
And why is this so? According to Gene, the freak-offs were for Diddy's benefit. And if we can remember correctly in Cassie's lawsuits, she mentioned that Diddy had specifics he wanted whenever she was hiring male escorts for their freak-offs.
And she said that, you know, in this lawsuit that, you know, Diddy, he enjoyed watching her get smashed by BBCs. So, you know, what you think about that?
Do you think she was the only one getting banged by him? Do you think this man had this woman search for prostitutes online just for them to have sex with her?
Is it just me, or does it seem like Gene doesn't like Diddy very much? It's sort of hard to blame him for not liking Diddy because can you imagine what it meant to be working for Diddy and seeing all the nasty things he be doing? This kind of explains why he jumps at every opportunity he can to spill as much tea as he can on Diddy. Okay, so back to Katt and the interview on Club Shay Shay. Katt has been known to hate every shady part of the industry because he has always made sure he exposed every shady business going down in the industry that fans are oblivious of. If it comes to shady stuff and the Illuminati or some funny monkey business, you definitely can't pay Katt enough to keep a secret. Now, Katt has never really liked Diddy, and he has had a history of calling Diddy out for his inappropriate relationship with younger men. Katt has even used the P word to describe Diddy, if you know what I mean. Some people may think this has got to do with Cassie, but nah, Katt has been exposing Diddy way back in 2011. He exposed Jermaine Dupri and Diddy for allegedly essaying the Criss Cross boys. Chris Kelly and Chris Smith were two young boys who got the attention of Jermaine Dupri in the 90s. These boys were so young that they were still in elementary school at that time. But Jermaine saw their talent that by the time they turned 12 and 13, they had made a name for themselves in the industry. A lot was going on behind the scenes because allegedly Jermaine was saying them both. It's so bad that he was alleged to have pimped them to his friends in the industry, including Diddy. These young boys went through these horrifying acts for years, causing Chris Kelly to develop a drug problem due to the years of abuse. The crazy part is that both boys had suspicions about Jermaine, but having been promised fame and fortune and being the young boys they were, they succumbed. In an interview, Chris Kelly had this to say, "We were just playing video games at this mall in Atlanta when all of a sudden this dude comes to us and said he'll like for us to work with him as rap musicians. We had no idea who he was, and facts I told my daddy that the guy was probably a child molester. Yeah, he basically looked at us all funny." And according to Gene Deal, the pimping out of young stars wasn't limited to Jermaine only. Diddy also had plans to pimp out the members of his girl band, Dainty Kane.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, "Yo, I'm gonna drug their ass off and pick them up and pimp them out to my niggas." He said, "I'm gonna drug them out. I'm gonna get them all on drugs, and I'm gonna pimp their ass out to my." I was like, "Them somebody kids," and walked out.
Katt had known this for a while back in 2011, and he called out Diddy and Jermaine using the P word.
Huh. What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah. Jermaine Dupri, king of the files, if you ask me, baby. Shh. Jermaine Dupri, small as a child.
What boggles my mind is
Wow.
Diddy, knowing how
Yeah,
Katt
I
felt
just wanted
towards
you
him,
to-
he
I
still
just
tried to
wanted to show
proposition
that.
him to be his lover boy or something. I don't know. It doesn't just make sense or something.
Okay, so we a lot of us that have been watching things go down on YouTube and things that are stuff that has happened that we can't even talk about on YouTube anymore, pertaining to like the 17th letter of the alphabet or that thing that happened with eating that slice of whatever gate, right? Some of the players that have participated in that, I'm going to make this is to the community here, too, as well, in relation to this, that politicized it into the right-left paradigm. Like the person who participated in that, Titus Frost, who's having his LARPer of the Year award. You know what? Titus should probably give that award to himself, okay? Because the people that went out and made up fantasy stories participated in things that were supposed to be like what's happening right now that's coming out through Katt Williams and P. Diddy and the real scoop that's happening in Hollywood. All those people that run around and, do the other aspect of it, you just need to sit down because you haven't been doing anything. And I know that this is probably going to get me more random internet troll people or whatever. Those people, the ones that like to think that they run the internet and they're going to put Pepe the Frog on everywhere, we know what that means. Doesn't matter if you say like, well, it didn't originate that way or whatever. That's what it is, and that's what it's looked at, and that's what the circle is to some of those people, right? So you guys that have been doing that, you're not Katt Williams, all right? You're not the real revealing of what's really happening in Hollywood, all right? I that's my opinion. I think you've been the problem. Matter of fact, so much the problem that you actually almost made it a complete conspiracy so people could just dismiss it that way. So you did reverse work on what should have been done. And that's my truth. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm fearless to say right here on my channel. That's my opinion. Okay? I just hope nobody pulls the beans and oh that. Okay, I'm looking at the same comment again. Okay, so that being said, I think that all of this is really exciting. And, you know, not only is it exciting that this is all coming out, and you know, when I mean, right now, I mean, he broke the internet. Like the show, the Club Shay Shay show is like the biggest show to date. Of Katt Williams being on it. And, you know, I know that we're all like, you know, we're in an algorithm, right? So when you tap on something, you get more of what you look at. And obviously I've been looking at a lot of this because it matters to me. I'm going, wow, it's really going down. I mean, I had heard of these rumors before, because, you know, I kind of looked, I mean, I'm watching things like that. I'm watching other comedians. I'm watching what's going on. Right. And I'd heard, you know, I was aware of Katt Williams a long time ago when he first started talking about the Illuminati and stuff, you know, when Dave Chappelle came out and started talking about things. I'm like, wow, these comics are really starting to say something, but now we're getting into some really deep shit. And these guys are calling each other out on it. There's something definitely happening here. And so I wanted to do this live stream about it. And I'm really excited too that the person that's really doing it and saying it is actually a comedian. I just think that of course it is. Of course it's a comedian that, you know, that with someone who has the stature and the talent and the power and the way of speaking to the public as Katt Williams, that interview, and I really highly recommend, if you have 3 hours to watch, I mean, it's worth the 3 hours. It's worth going through every single thing it's a great interview. I think it's almost like YouTube history right now. Okay, so I want to finish off with the alien thing, because like out of everything else, you know, of all, like, shoot, I mean, if you look at YouTube and you look at like Rumble and you look at, like, you know, even just look at the mainstream media and all the things that have been going on in the world, and come on, let's face it, it's really crazy. That's why, like, when you have the random internet troll, or you have this person coming here, like that person, like, you really don't matter. Like in a sense, I think, as you know, as people, we are really in we're kind of shifting, like we're growing, and we're also in an upheaval, and there's a lot of things that are being put in front of people that they've never heard before. You know, and there's some of us, I think, that are ahead of the game because we've kind of been watching things and whatever, right? And then there's some people, I think, that are going to go, what? You know, and they may not be, they might not adjust as well. That's just kind of like my analysis. So maybe we have to help those people along that you know, weren't prepared to what is you know, going down right now. And you know, like the entertainment industry, I think Hollywood just in general, the public has grown. We see it. We know that, you know, all the actors are used to propagate propaganda that in some ways is harmful for society. Right. You know, we know, like, there's that whole Faustian thing about the entertainment industry, music, all of it. And then to hear what has been going on, the truth is coming out. The truth is coming out, and we'll see. We'll just see how it falls. I believe Diddy got arrested. He did. Diddy's, and I think Diddy's gonna fall really hard. This is what I see. I see a movie being made out of Puffy. Okay, I see a movie about this. Like, I'm hoping it's not like a Lifetime kind of thing, right? I mean, look, Netflix, mark my words right now. there will be a Netflix series about Puff Daddy. Who do you think is going to play Puff Daddy? Like, who's going to play Katt? Is Katt Williams going to play himself? Like, I just really think that who wants to do that documentary? I'm not documentary. Who wants to do that movie with me? You want to write the script? Let's get it out there. Let's crank it out. But I think someone's going to write it. Someone's going to play Diddy. Like, someone's going to, like, the whole Jamie Foxx thing. Oh my God. I was hearing rumors, like little things about like that, just in general, but I didn't talk about it because, whatever, but it's getting crazy. Okay, so now let's go even crazier and look into the that mall stuff that was going on. Like, also there was like this, like, I mean, you guys know there was this big, apparently huge 10-foot shadow alien. And I just picked up like a couple things. Okay, I'm really kind of like just kind of looking for the footage of it. It to me it almost looks like a hologram, or it looks like as if it's translucent. Whatever footage I have seen of it, it doesn't seem like it's solid. And but one of the things, with this whole UFO disclosures thing, I'm going to bring him up, David Grush, and I know that people are like, oh no, he's being debunked. But there was something that he said, like he was being questioned, right? I think it's like Russ Cothright, I think that's his name. Russ or Ross. Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, he's being interviewed by the that guy from England, and then he says, well, is there extraterrestrials a real body? He goes, yeah, we apparently there's been confirmed of this life and this and that, but he said, are they coming from another planet? And he said it might be interdimensional. And I've always wondered, and because I've looked at videos too and everything, but I've always wondered, is is it a portal? Are there portals around the earth? And are they coming in, from some other means? And then if you're talking about interdimensional, like, is there like I don't like if you think about the whole thing about parallel, timelines, or, jumping timelines maybe, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think about so, like almost like the Mandela effect too. Like sometimes I think the Mandela effect might be that we're in some, like it's not, things are not as permanent as we think they are. And then maybe there is something right next to us that it can cross over into here. And I know I'm going to get a lot of, like some of my friends out there might go, oh, Terry, shut up. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying that I firmly believe this, like this is the way it is, but I'm just curious as if it might be, because of the fact that, David Grush said that, even though, nobody wants to give him any credit. And because of the fact that this being or whatever we're looking at looks kind of translucent, then like the other theory is that it is a hologram and we are being seen this because there's some sort of fake alien disclosure, right? But there's some stuff going on around in the skies and stuff like that I don't think at this point we can completely deny. Okay, now being a person that tutors anthropology, how much, it's like everything is like, it's a theory, right, based on science that's been, tested over and over and over and over again. And when you come out with the same results and it's been tested by other anthropologists or other scientists or whatever you're testing, then that confirms it as being a theory, right? But a theory can see, science is always like, it's never set in stone. I think, well, this is the way it is, because like with new information, a new discovery, a new thing, then that becomes part of the science. Like, just to close your mind off and think like maybe we still don't know, right? Like I think as human beings, as people, we still don't know exactly what this is. Like, what this is, there life after death? Is there, all the questions, right? I don't have to, we're human. We know what that's like. Oh, in terms of spirituality, God, everything, right? So it's just, I don't know. It makes me wonder if it is interdimensional, and if it's interdimensional, people are coming up with theories that because it was tall, they're going, oh well, it's Nephilim, or the fallen angels, or this could be like there's a whole mixture of, it's a demon, like there's a like whatever's on the other side may not be all that great. So there's all these things going on. I think it's kind of exciting. It's a little weird. Believe me, there's probably going to be a whole lot of more conversation about UFOs and the like. Obviously, a lot of us that are in this particular, I mean, I've been in that media. I mean, I've participated in the exploration of the possibility of UFOs. I've always been, interested in it. I mean, am I going to have an argument with somebody and say, no, the draconians are real. They are real. I'm not going to do that with somebody, because I can't say 100% sure that they're, that they are, or that, what happened in Miami is, I don't know what it is. I can speculate what it is, just like anybody else is doing, has a YouTube channel, or, doing a video, but I don't know for sure. It might be something that you might want to, test, or wait and see what happens. But I think also right now it's really important to have discernment, because again, we're being faced with things and situations that have never really happened to us before. All right. But, and also, let's just kind of have some fun talking about it. I don't feel like it needs to be something that's so crucial and that we have to be arguing about it. I do have an open mind as what possibilities are, but I think it, like, even for tonight, it's definitely worth looking into. Paul Schill said Stargate. Grush is a UFO true believer. The Miami Mall incident was probably holograms. Okay, so you think it's holograms. It looks like it could be. And we're so like, and I think I'm like, oh my God, we're so easily fooled still by things. Like, haven't we all been to Disneyland? It's like, we're just like, oh my God, like, what is it? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If I saw a 10-foot thing come at me at the mall, I'd be running for my life too. Like, but I might pop out my camera and try to film it. Go, let me hide it. Like, can I get this on I gotta get this on TikTok. And that was the thing that came up with people. They're like, well, did you bring your camera out? And they go, there's one guy who's made a testimony on TikTok, and he says, I didn't film it because I was so frightened by it. I couldn't even think about like getting my camera at that moment. You don't know what this is like. It's not your first inclination to go, let me get like, hey, 10-foot monster, can we do a selfie? Oh, like, you're like, it's probably not gonna happen. But yeah, anyway, so let me see. I don't know if I got a really good footage one. You guys have probably already looked at the footage, but copy of somebody else's channel. Okay, here we go.
Cars, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just one squad car, it's a whole gaggle of them. Now, of course, the individual over here commenting is obviously recording from a high rise, and it doesn't stop. Like, as far as I can confirm, all the way to like here, I can see actual lines of squad cars. It's as if they got the entire Miami-Dade Police Department out here recording this situation. Now, the reason why people had talked about it was obviously verifiable accounts like Daily Loud. They're not verifiable. A Miami mall was shut down by police, and rumors are being spread around about 8 to 10 foot tall shadow aliens.
Okay,
Ooh,
anyway,
reptilian.
that wasn't really very good, but you guys have we've all seen the footage. So, here, wait, what's here? Hold on. Oh, here it is. This is a better shot, I think.
2003 again with the Motorola Razr, dude. Come on now. So, of course, this was in blurred.
Wait, okay, let's do it again. It's so weird, right? Okay, wait, go back. Okay.
No one, not even this person, recorded a proper video. You know what's messed up? Samsung can make cameras that can take photos of the moon from Earth, all right? And we're sitting over here recording like it's 2003 again with the Motorola Razr.
Right
dude.
there.
Come on now. So, of course, this was a blurred image, and I would say it's a little intentionally blurred, personally. I've worked with enough footage in my day. I've edited enough videos to realize that there might be some Gaussian blur trickery going on. So this is a closer image, one that was provided by an account known as Think Tank, which I did cover. I did actually use this account when I talked about previous alien information. Not that it has any validity or anything to it, but this is a better image that shows you, again, these three figures walking. And, of course, getting a clearer image of what's going on over here, right from here, you can see that it's actually just three officers walking, right? There's actually a lot of civilians over here, man. Like, look at that. They're literally just three officers walking, and you got a whole bunch of civilians right here seeing it. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is just law enforcement agents who are responding very heavily to what appeared to be an actual riot in the situation. A riot that could have been very deadly, all right, if weapons were probably brought. Now, a closer on-the-ground piece of footage comes from only in Dade, where people are actually running away. And, of course, this provides no context to possible AMRs. They're obviously running away from firecrackers or what could potentially be a pretty violent riot. And, of course, law enforcement is there to, again, quell the situation. And, of course, to further clarify on the situation, obviously...
Okay, so it looks pretty crazy, right, of what happened. Now I heard some people, this one other video that I want to show you. I heard some people say shots were fired. And then I also heard that they were like teenagers with like firecrackers or something. And that started it. This was enough police vehicles for full and riot control. I know. It's really over the top. It almost feels like, I reckon someone fired at a hologram. Yeah. It almost feels like it's like a cheap movie, like a movie that didn't have good enough special effects is what it looks like to me. Okay, yeah. I was just going to mention that, Paul. Police confiscated people's phones. They did. Yeah. And I find that to be interesting. And let me tell you something. Here's something I know about the law. I know in California, I'm not sure about Florida, but I know in California, you don't have to give your phone or your camera. If you're a photographer and there's an incident that happens that you happen to catch, and they say they might detain you, and they might ask you, we want your camera, or we want that footage. You can deny them that. You're not required to give your photos over to the police department. You can say, well, you're going to have to get a search warrant for that. And if it's for a case or whatever, or evidence, yeah, then they're going to have to get a search warrant. But the photographer has certain legal rights that they don't have. You don't have to go, oh, I heard that the police said they wanted to hide the evidence or something. They wanted that footage. But I don't know what the law is in Can you imagine though confiscating, like letting the police taking your phone from you? What would I do without GPS? I don't know if I could even find my way home after that. I'm kidding. Sorta. Okay. Let me go back to like I used to have this joke that because I have a really weird sense of direction. Like if an area looks the same, sometimes I'll get like if you go to an attract home place, and I'll just walk around talking or whatever, and I go, wait, where am I? And then all the houses look the same, and I kind of trip out. I'm like, I can't figure out what's happened. Like when I was growing up, I lived in like a tract, kind of like where all the houses were the same at one point. And I would go over to like I would be knocking on a door. This is when I was in high school. I'd be knocking on a door thinking that it was my friend's door. And then I go, is Cynthia here? And they go, no, you have the wrong house. She's 2 houses down. I'm like, oh no, oh, I'm sorry. And I would just go over to their house. So I had this joke. I used to do this joke like I'd say, well, I could never really stalk anybody because I couldn't remember where they lived at. And that's a joke. Oh my God. That's when, hey guys, that's a good cutaway for the trolls, right? Okay. A soundbite for the trolls. All right. So I wanted this. Where are we here? Okay. I just played that one. And this one. So have you guys seen the guy confess on, there's one guy on TikTok that, hi, Dr. Cloud. Okay. There's this one guy on TikTok that talks about his experience with seeing the alien, right? I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but anyway, I'm going to play it.
At the Bayside Mall with my family.
Okay.
And we all saw exactly what happened. Don't pay attention to a lot of the videos that are out there. I feel like a lot of people are trying to use this for clout. But what happened, we all saw what happened, and it's pretty serious. It's been a few days, but our whole family's processing it. But I think we've kind of accepted that we were a part of this weird experience and moment.
What is it, bro?
So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister, and my nephew. We were looking for shoes for my nephew.
What'd you see?
And then we see a whole crowd of people outside the store just running out in a direction. So as soon as you saw it, we...
I wish I had the original because we had this other person doing a voiceover, but you guys know how it is when you're looking for pieces of material to talk about and also do a video on. Sometimes you get, cut of a cut of a cut.
We're like, oh shit, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew. About a few seconds later, as soon as we started running, my nephew, he's autistic, so he was pointing behind us and he was saying blankie, which he will usually say whenever he feels unsafe or scared. And he was pointing behind us. So me and my brother, we look behind us, and then we see these 3 9-10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was.
Creatures, bro. Shadow aliens.
All of us stopped in our tract. We, a whole bunch of people were pointing at it. There were other people running.
Why didn't you film it?
I mean, if it was a hologram, did anybody think about maybe trying to see if their arm goes through it and go, hey, I'm over here with your, I guess not, because I don't know if I would have the courage to do that, but what if it was just an image, a hologram?
There was a crowd. As soon as it made itself more apparent, it looked like it was glitching. Not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch.
What?
And whatever maybe was covering them had, unveiled or whatever.
All right, guys, that's all I'm going to show because this TikTok is actually 10 minutes long. I'm not even joking.
Okay. Everybody's seen, there's so many people commenting about that. But anyway, that's a clip of that. So that kind of gives you an idea of, I guess you can find it on TikTok. Maybe I saw it originally on TikTok. Oh, hey, _. I'm back for a few minutes before my mom and watch. Dawn French is a huge. Oh, okay. I love that word, by the way. Okay, so it's nice, but you know what? I'm actually gonna wrap up because tomorrow's a school day. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Everybody that came in, and Dr. Cloud for making an appearance here. I guess like I've been streaming for about almost 2.5 hours, and this is a longer Katt Williams show than I did the first one. I did like a kind of a shorter one, but there's a lot since that one interview. There's a lot that's been coming out in the news, so surrounding that, so stay tuned. And I guess like I'll just close out with just since you're here, I'm gonna end the show with your favorite song that I have on my queue, Save My Soul, right? Since there's been so much talk about people selling their souls and everything to Hollywood and this and that, let's end with this is Faison on Epidemic Sound. And good night, you guys, and I appreciate all of you stepping in for a moment. And yeah, thanks.
Save my soul.
Yes, it's still floating up. Oh,
When up,
it's still on.
downtown. When up, downtown. When up, downtown. I want to save my soul. When up, downtown. When up, downtown. When up, downtown. Pop, save my soul. 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 Oh, pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Oh, pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Oh, pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. When up, downtown. When up, downtown. When up, downtown. I was walking out one evening late. Moon was rising high.
headed for the riverside around this fuss and fight.